everybody. My name is Mark Harrison, but as you know, and I'm a bit of a broken record on this, I want you to call me MH3. I'm really excited to have you join us here on the Convenor, which is not just a new podcast, because heaven knows the world needs yet another podcast, but the world does need yet another podcast. But this is going to be more than a podcast. It's going to be a place to begin conversations worth convening. It's going to be a place that evolves eventually into events, meetups, discussion groups, and who knows where it's going to take us. In fact, if there's one message I would have for you here today, joining me in the launch of the Convenor, is I need your input. I need your feedback. I need your direction. I need your ideas. I need you to come to me and say, these are the things we should be talking about. These are the conversations that are worth convening. And I think part of the reason I want to do this is I always think back in my own career about how the first time I heard that expression, the meeting after the meeting, that expression where you sit around with a large group and a facilitator and sticky notes and Post-its, but the real work gets done in that hallway conversation or maybe in a taxi or Uber or Lyft ride home. In addition, I think there's often situations where there are things we want to talk about that just don't get on the agenda. And so for me, the Convenor is going to be about connecting people to have conversations, very specific conversations that can lead us to thinking about new approaches, how to solve problems, how to tackle issues. I will confess with you, I think part of the reason I'm doing this is there's something going on in here that says, besides the things that I do on a day in, day out basis in my business, in my charitable work, in my personal work, that I want to grab this microphone and a microphone with other people and have a conversation about what matters and what's on my mind. So if this ends up being a little bit of MH3 therapy, I hope after 30 years of entrepreneurship, you'll forgive me and give me the opportunity to do that. As I said off the top, I don't want this to be a personality show. I want it to be a conversation about ideas. Each of the people coming on the Convenor have not only been generous with their time when they're going to be sitting here with me, but generous in their preparation time. Literally yesterday, I was prepping with one of our future guests, and I had sent him a full brief, questions, thought starters, etc. And I was really excited that I'd sent it a few days ago, and he came back with basically like a red, yellow, green, blue color coding of stuff he wanted to double down on, things that he wanted me to take out, suggestions that he had to add, places he need clarification. That work, that prep, hopefully will come through in these conversations with you.
Big ideas don't just say something. They start something. This episode of The Convenor is sponsored by Humanity, a full-service marketing agency for purpose-driven changemakers. Working at the intersection of strategy, storytelling, and behavioral science, Humanity acts as a marketing leadership partner to organizations that are ready to turn their bold vision into real-world impact. So let's start something together.
I come from a relatively simple place when it comes to running businesses. I have what I like to call my own 4 Ps framework. Yes, I did an MBA, and no, these are not the 4 Ps that you learn in an MBA in marketing. They're the 4 Ps that guide every business, every venture, every initiative that I have. And I'm going to share with you them in alphabetical order first. Hopefully I know my alphabet. And then we'll talk about them a little bit in hierarchy. The 4 things that I guide all my businesses by, actually measure all my businesses and ventures by, I look at my own career by, are passion, people, profit, and purpose. And I screwed it up because I think purpose is supposed to come before profit. See? But it's all good. I'm going to leave that in because I don't know my own alphabet. But they're all P's, so I got that part right. It would have been really weird to say, I've got 4 P's and one of them turns out to be a W. I digress. And so in my day-to-day life, besides, being a partner and a father and a volunteer, I'm lucky enough to oversee this, what I jokingly like to call the world's smallest holding company, the MH3 Collective. some point, we'll talk more about where the MH3 came from. And inside the collective, there are these incredible ventures. Park Street Education, which works with underestimated children for academic enrichment. The Black Talent Initiative to create opportunity for Black leaders of today and tomorrow. T1, which is my oldest company, sponsorship marketing. Humanity, a creative agency for change makers. Sponsorship X, which is our community for partnership marketers around the world. And Sidekick, a business I'm a partner in with some amazing leaders. And some people say, oh, Mark, you've got all these things going on, and how do you keep track? And where's the connection? And the connection is actually pretty simple. The connection is about people and ideas getting together to impact society. And that's what I hope this show, this podcast, the meetings we're going to have, the meetups, the places that I hope the convener can go are going to become. So if you're a founder or an entrepreneur, if you're a change maker, if you're a business leader, if you're a charitable leader, if you're a curator of events and conferences, if you're just somebody who's thinking about like, what's my next step? Then I hope these conversations are for you. And I hope we can make a difference by following some relatively simple principles. As I said before, it's about the topic, it's about the conversation, it's about the depth. I've asked all of our guests to bring real life examples. And in some cases, they've got to paraphrase or use analogies for those examples due to, say, client confidentiality, but they are bringing the heat. They are bringing the details. This is not about, their own personal opinion about, how to use AI or some antidotes. Now, we want a little bit of that, but it's about the content. And then what we're hoping to do is look at those 4 Ps, regardless of how I mess them up in the alphabet, and align each of the conversations against purpose or profit or passion or people so that you have a bit of a North Star as to what we're going to talk about. And maybe you might want to skip an episode, but it'll give you an opportunity to make that decision. Now, one of the hardest parts of doing that, of course, is like some of these episodes might have a bit of a bleed, right? Like, oh, this is passion and people. This is purpose and profit. And the reality of life is like a great dinner table. We need all 4 legs at all times, but there is a reality that we're going to focus on one over the other. That's part of the brief. And then we're going to seek impact. We're going to seek to understand, did the conversation that we created have an impact? We want to hear that you used the learnings, applied them, reapplied them, adapted them, morphed them so they worked for you. And what did you get out of it? Where did it lead you to? Because I really think as a convener, we've got to be doing this intentionally. Some people like to say to me, Mark, you're a connector or you're a creator or a catalyst. I really just want to be like the vehicle or the vessel to draw out information from people and turn that information into impact for you. And, if you know me, you know that I have podcasts and webinars on our Sponsorship X channels. You might think back to the pandemic when I had a fun show called On Bourbon Street. But this is the place where I feel like I'm most happiest and most impactful and most productive, which is convening the conversations with other people. I don't ever see myself as a subject matter expert. I see myself as somebody who gets that information from the source to you, into your hands, into your mind, into your soul, so you can use it. You're going to see and hear and meet an interesting group of people here. You're going to meet the underestimated founder. I've taught courses in entrepreneurship, and I often talked about the service road economy. It's one thing to look at the big buildings and the financial core of any city around the world, but I would encourage everybody who's interested in entrepreneurship to look at the side roads, look at the service roads, look at the places that might not be obvious, and there you're going to find that underestimated founder, that person that's doing incredible things. This show's also going to bring on the overlooked thinker, the person who perhaps is got ideas and innovations and insights that at times isn't shared. Those concepts aren't shared where they should be. And I'm hoping we can help that person scratch that itch. And speaking of itches, we're going to have lots of change makers on here because I love change makers. Change makers wake up in the morning to solve a problem, and they don't sleep until they've solved that problem. And that's not a bad thing. They are committed. They understand purpose. They have a passion. They bring the people they need together to make it happen. And the profit that they generate is improving society. And you know what? We're also going to focus here on transition. And I mean transition from a career standpoint, a business standpoint, trying to figure out what their purpose is going to be next. So this might be the world's longest podcast trailer. And if it's not, then I will make it longer. But in all seriousness, I want you to help us build the platform. I want you to think about the Convenor not just being a virtual opportunity, because we do need to get together in person in this day and age and build community. I want you to throw at me suggestions for topics, suggestions for improvements, places where you agree or disagree and you want to double down. And hopefully, if you think about somebody who should be part of the Convenor community, that person shouldn't just be here because they've reached a certain title or they've made a certain amount of money or they pontificate in a certain way, but somebody who you know has value that they can add to other people out there. So there you have it. Welcome to Convenor. I'm MH3.